Hi parents, so this video is just going to go into further depth that distance learning expectations document that I shared with you. If you read through the document already, you do not need to watch this video. This is just going to add a little bit more details or clarification to that document. So what should your student be doing every single day now that we move to our full distance learning module? Group A students on Monday and Wednesday, they will have a required Google Meets at the beginning of the block. Remember, their block schedules have changed, so if your student has me first block, they'll be meeting at 9 a.m., second block meets at 10 a.m., third block meets at 11 a.m., and fourth block meets at noon. Those Google Meets will usually last anywhere from like 10 to 15 minutes, and the rest of the time will be theirs to work on their assignment for that day. Tuesdays and Thursdays, there will still be a post for them, a learning activity that they will need to check in on Google Classroom. Make sure that they fill out their attendance form by 4 p.m. and then they can complete that learning activity whenever they want throughout the day. So if they want to complete it at 10 p.m., 5 p.m., whenever, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure that they have their attendance form filled out by 4 p.m. Group B students has a similar schedule except just flip-flop the days. So Tuesdays and Thursdays will be the required Google Meets at the beginning of the block for Group B students, and the rest of the time will be theirs to work on the activity. Monday and Wednesday are the days that they need to fill out the attendance form by 4 p.m. and complete the learning activity posted for the day. Again, if they want to complete the learning activity posted that day at midnight, that's fine. Just make sure that their attendance form is filled out by 4 p.m. Fridays will be the same for all students. They will fill out the attendance form by 4 p.m., take the weekly quiz, and finish any homework from that week. There will be an option for them to participate in a community building activity, and this is just an option or a chance, an opportunity for them to take a step back from their academics and just connect socially with their peers. On the days that students do not have required Google Meets, there will be a learning activity posted. I just want to clarify this language. This does not mean that there's a required assignment for that day, but this learning activity was posted and created with reason, with intention. So it'll be something that will help them with an upcoming test or quiz, or to have them work on writing skills or critical thinking skills appropriate for their grade level. So make sure your student is checking Google Classroom every single day. Attendance, like I said, on the days they do not have their Google Meets, they will have an attendance form, and as long as that's completed by 4 p.m., they will be counted as present. If they're unable to attend the Google Meets on their required Google Meets day, make sure that they complete their attendance form by 4 p.m. So if they have an appointment of some sort, that's absolutely fine. They just need to complete their attendance form by 4 p.m. My expectation with those Google Meets is that students will be present for those Google Meets most of the time. Just like with our hybrid model, when students were showing up for class every other day, I expected that most of my students would show up to class on those scheduled days. So same thing with those Google Meets. I'm expecting most students to be present for those Google Meets. If for some reason they're unable to attend those Google Meets, they will fill out their attendance form by 4, and I'll have a video posted on Google Classroom after class of what they missed. So anytime between 1:30 and 3:30 is when that video will be available if they missed their required Google Meets. And during this Google Meets, we meet at the beginning of the block. It'll last 5 to 15 minutes, just to allow them to check in with me. I can clarify any complicated instructions if there are any, and so that way they can see each other's faces and connect socially with their peers to help their engagement and learning in our class. After this 5 to 15 minutes, students can exit the Google Meets if they don't have any questions on the assignment. I will remain on that Google Meets for the remainder of the block, so if students do have any questions, they can click back on that Google Meets link and ask me a question in real time. My late work policy, late work will be accepted for full credit if it's turned in after the due date. Most of the time, assignments are due a week after it was posted. After that 1 week, if students haven't turned it in, I mark it missing in the grade book. If it's marked missing, don't freak out. They can still complete their missing work and turn it in for full points, and I will remove that missing flag. Additional help, so if students need help on an assignment during their scheduled block time, they can use that Google Meet link on Google Classroom to get any clarification they need. If it's outside of that scheduled block time, they have two options. If they would like a private meeting, they can go ahead and ask to set up a virtual or in-person private meeting with me. If they just have a quick question and they would like to ask during open office hours, my open office hours will be 1:30 to 3 every single day using that same Google Meet link that's on their Google Classroom. Note that this is available to all students. So if students are asking a question, there is the possibility that another student will log on to that same Google Meets to ask a question. So if they're talking about their grade and they would like privacy while talking about their grade, I highly encourage that they schedule time with me to ensure that privacy. If they're just asking a question about an assignment and they're not necessarily concerned about their privacy between their classmates, they can go ahead and use those open office hours. All right, I'm actually going to go ahead and show you a sample post for my Google Classroom so you can understand how my Google Classroom is laid out, how to access that Google Meet link, and what each and every day's post will look like. So when your student logs into Google Classroom and click on my class, that Google Meet link will be right here. This will be the same Google Meet that they will use on their required Google Meets day, on open office hours. If they want to schedule a private one-on-one meeting, they will be sent a different link. All right, my class work will be organized by week. So this is the previous week that we just had, week 10, and there will be a post every single day for students. Within that post, I have the date and then just a short little summary of what is included in that post. So we can go ahead and click on November 19th. I will always have the learning target and essential question posted, and that's just so that way students know the topic of this post. I will always have directions written out right here, the due date right below it, and reminders of any upcoming assignments or any other important announcement. I have my contact information at the bottom of each and every post. My email is right here. They can also call or text my Google Voice phone number. Google Voice is nice because I'm the only one who needs to download the Google Voice app. Anybody who wants to contact me using that phone number would just call or text that phone number like any other regular phone number. You do not need to download the Google Voice app in order to contact me through this phone number. And then with each post, everything they need will be within this post. So there will never be multiple posts for one day. There will never be a link or assignment sent separately to their email. It will be a one-stop shop. I also include video instructions for each and every post. So that way, if students need more details than what's in these very short, clear instructions, they will get those details in that video. If they would like to see examples, that video would be a good way to see examples of the assignment or any other clarification on how it's going to be graded. I think that is it with my Google post. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Again, my email is acollins@bhmschools.org. You can also call and text that Google Voice phone number at 304-853-0426. Thanks.